Hey guys, Ellison here, and I am giving a I'm giving a go the SFGC Challenge 2, the Mega Man X Single Life was it the Single Life Collect as Much as You Can challenge. So, excuse me while I change my controls a little bit, and alright, here we go. I do have a little bit. I haven't played Mega Man X in a while. Probably about 3-4 years, but I used to play it a whole lot before then. The object of this challenge is to collect as much as you can in a single life. So, the joys of this particular challenge are that some of the scarier stages, like Launch Octopus and Boomer Twanger, will require well, the specialized attention us to do. There's stages notorious for having pitfalls, spike falls, spike traps. Even Storm Eagle's stage is a little bit chancy, that being there's a giant pitfall pretty much, but we don't have to worry too much about Storm Eagle's stage, primarily because we can tread pretty carefully and we don't have a whole lot of things affecting our movement. I'm just going through this tutorial level now. I can see a whole lot of interesting gameplay. I'm going to take a couple of hits up ahead, because it'll end the file a bit quicker, and since I'm recording this, I kind of want to just get as much done as quickly as I can. Just so that way it doesn't produce a super duper long video, you know? So the big thing to keep noting here is that we're going to be minimizing the amount of stages to go through, because in my mind, the more I'm in a level, or the more I'm playing, the more likely I am to completely screw something up. So the way I kind of planned this out, I didn't think that hard about it. But I just remember some stages are a bit more dangerous than others. I want to try and get whatever power-ups I can a little bit more quickly compared to the others. For instance, I want to get the helmet before Flame Mammoth stage, because I know Flame Mammoth stage has the blaster power-up, and you need the helmet to get it. And I also know that there's a bunch of heart tanks that you can get with the Boomer Twanger power-up. So Boomer Twanger is a bitch to kill. So I'm going to be taking out Launch Octopus before him. And if you want to take out Launch Octopus, I know there's a heart in his stage that you can get, and you don't really need anything special for it. In this stage, you actually need the Flame Mammoth power-up to melt an ice structure. So I'm going to have to come back here one time. With a little bit of planning, I think I'm able to keep it down so I don't have to repeat that many stages. I want to get sub-tanks, and Storm Eagle's sub-tank is probably the easiest one to get. So I kind of have an order set. I'm going to do this stage, then Storm Eagle stage. Then I'm going to go for Launch Octopus. I can get the legs power up here, and in Storm Eagle stage, as soon as you get the dash, you can get his heart power up. You don't need anything for the sub tank, and you can get the helmet there. So his stage has a lot of stuff. Doing it second means I can get a lot. Doing Launch Octopus third means I have some time to fill up a sub tank. And I can use Storm Eagle's Storm Tornado power-up. To try to take out whoever I can. Like the big floaty pod thing. It's a tricky stage because the stage kind of goes against you. It's one of the only stages that fights your active progress. One other thing to take note is that Chill Penguin is pretty chill. He's an easy boss. Some other bosses are way tougher. Boomer Coanger one is pretty tough. Launch Octopus really isn't that hard because he only has a couple of different effects. He fires missiles at you, and he does a vertical suction, both of which are pretty easy to tackle. Whoa! So I changed up my controls at the beginning of the game, and that's because doing wall dashing is really tough. The main thing is, I'll show you in a sec. Alright, you see at this set, you have the shoot button here and the jump button here. So jump, shoot. You've got dash over here, so doing a dash jumping shot means you have to kind of get your thumb in a really weird way. It's really hard to push the jump button while you're dashing to shoot. If I set my trigger, then I can do an easy dash and jump shoot. I can set my thumb to specific buttons. I don't have to overload my thumb with too much. It's something I'd suggest you do. Alternatively, you can keep it to the default, which allows the L and R to be set to the weapon switch commands. I don't think there's that many times in which you're going to use that compared to dashing, which this game is basically built around. I keep the L button set to it for the majority of the time, just because when I need to do little switches, I can just mash L. Or I keep the A button set to switch. Just because it's, well, it's something. You can have one button to switch left and one button to switch right in terms of handling your power-ups. So there's some secret areas around here. You can go ahead and watch this if you want, and use it for your advantage if you've never done it before. There's a trick called dash jumping off of walls, which you can do pretty easily if you coordinate yourself to be able to press the dash and jump button at the same time while going off of a wall. It's another reason why I turn the A button off, because there are times I want to keep my beam charging while I'm jumping around. Anyway, when you dash jump, you get a lot of extra distance, which allows you to come over here and get the power helmet. You need the helmet basically just to get like 3 things in the game. There's maybe a couple of energy power-ups in a couple of different spots. Alright, I'm taking a minute here to fill up my sub-tank. Just because I have the opportunity to. And I don't think the grabber guys actually drop energy. It's pretty easy to get these dudes to spawn. Hey, nice one up. Holy. Stocked up on 1-ups, I don't need that. My main field is I want to power up 4 boomer coiners stage. There's a couple other dudes here. We're about to fight Storm Eagle if you've never done it before. He's not that hard of a boss. The biggest thing that you can do is just understand good zigzag patterning and understand that you can't hurt Storm Eagle when he's not on stage. I'm sorry, when he's not in your view. So you can't fire a blast and expect it to hit. Now, one thing he likes to do is open up with a wind burst, which blows you right off the screen. If you're not holding forward, you can do an immediate fire. It's not actually going to hit him. There's a couple attacks. He burps out eggs. Let's fire those things. He does swipes like this, left and right. And then he does his wind burst. And he'll fire his storm tornado at you. Like that. It's not very dangerous. It doesn't even hurt you. It just blows you. Now the reason why it blows you around is because this stage doesn't actually have an edge. You can fall off and die. So Storm Eagle's not that hard. His manage is zigzagging and understanding that if you fire at his little ball right as it lands, it kills it before, or blows it up before the little thingies hatch out and fly towards you. And it can be a little tricky to poke around. So now I have the Storm Tornado. I'm gonna go. Normally I wouldn't go for Launch Octopus right now. I usually come back a little bit later, but I want to kill Boomer Kuwanger early, and I also need to kill him so I can get a Power Up and Sting Chameleon stage, which depends on just having him beaten. So you can see, just because of that, why Storm Tornado is so neat to have. And there's these dudes which are a little annoying. They fire at these little lizards, which you can avoid just by being close. But once they back away, you want to back away too, because they'll start sucking you in and it can really hurt. So the real challenge comes up ahead a little bit further. It's actually right around here. We fight another one of these dudes. He completely messes with you by blowing. Knocking you into the spikes is a terrible way to go. So this dude's he's tough because of that. You saw how close I get knocked to the edge all those times. I knocked basically almost inside. Of those spikes. It's scary, so it just requires a lot of delicate hopping, and I can't even say I'm like a pro or anything at it. Oh, there's something you can do up here. Ah, yes. Okay, so blowing up this little spaceship or submarine or whatever opens up this area, which is also scary, but there's a heart power down here. Just have to blow this thing up first. Blow this up by shooting its other tail. I don't think there's anything else here. This little spot opens up and boom. So yeah, it's not that hard. A lot of button mashing will do it faster, but he really isn't threatening by any means. I gotta fight another one of these. It's totally good practice. Beat up that first one. We'll beat this one by drill underground. Telegraphs where he appears, which is super convenient. It makes the game lag, which I always thought was kind of silly. It likes to appear from right under you. So that's it for mini bosses. This stage just happens to have a bunch. It's rare, it's not something you see in a lot of stages. You see it in this one run. So I'm basically saying just how difficult it is to go through. The more time you go through, now remember this challenge is about doing it all in one life. There's a lot to manage. You can't hurt him when he's doing his stupid little tornado-y thing. If this looks challenging, it really isn't. Whoops. That's also why you grab that sub-tank in Storm Eagle's stage and you try to fill it out as much as you can. Oops. Alright. So there's launch Octopus down. He's a little, like I said, he's a little pain. His level is the biggest challenge out of him. With Storm Eagle's sub-tank, you should be able to handle this. His weakness is Armored Armadillo's, I guess, armor shield, which fires like big jelly bean balls. So now we have the Horming Torpedo. This is Boomer Kawanger's weakness. And he is our next stop. Actually, we don't have to make him our next stop. I say we can go after Flame Mammoth first. Storm Eagle's Storm Tornado is Flame Mammoth's weakness. We can get ourselves a couple of power-ups here. Now, beating Chill Penguin's level actually turns all this liquid molten magma into nothing. You see this area up here, there's a secret power-up that's really hard to get. No! Alright, basically what's in there is the super weapon power-up. The beam upgrade, whatever you want to call it. There's also another sub-tank here. So apparently wall kicks will work in here because you can just do this to grab another E-tank. But sadly, unless you have the supercharge already, you won't be able to get that on a second chance. Just because your jump height is too low. You'll need to come back to this stage. But fortunately, it's really easy to get back into here, so I might catch myself repeating this stage a couple of times. And the other neat thing is here's the health power-up. You got Boomer Kawangers, Boomerang, whatever it's called, Boomerang this, Boomer Cutter. You can use his power-up to grab that without dying while you're walking through lava. So Flame Mammoth isn't too scary. The boomerang cutter cuts off his tusk, which just allows him to not be able to flaming oil at you to light on fire. He's really big. And because he's so big, these Storm Eagle, Storm Tornado can often hit him twice. When he flexes his little trunk like that, he switches the direction of the conveyor belt. It really doesn't matter too much. You might get caught off by it one time or another. He only does it when you're far away to try and bring you closer to him, which is weird. But anyway, that's Flame Mammoth. I'm going to come back here and try to get myself the blaster power up. The Fire Wave. It's not something we're going to be using ourselves a whole lot anymore. No! Right, now you can see how easy it is to get it, but then fall by poor planning or just by sheer accident. Basically, you just gotta mash the jump button as quickly as you possibly can while you're there, holding forward. You'll see. You saw I turned around. I didn't actually turn around. I mean, I didn't tell it to turn around. I just kept holding forward and jumped up. Alright, so now we've got the the blaster power up. What this does is it lets you apply an additional use out of all of your abilities, and it also lets you charge up a super power blast. demonstrate. It's basically a burst that goes through enemies. It also hits behind you. If you notice the little purple burst. See if I can demonstrate it. Oops. So it's neat to have it because it's extra powerful, and then it also gives you a few different tricks. So you can fully charge up your special powers and get other use of that now. Flame Mammoth is pretty neat. And the neatest thing is probably kill penguins. Just creates a sliding platform, which gives you a little extra height, damage everything you hit. So that's enough of a demonstration. I'll go ahead and skip to the next area. With Boomer Kawanger next, and his power-up necessary for pretty much everything in Spark Mandrill stage, I'm going to give Boomer Kawanger a go. I'm going to try to stock up on energy for a couple of sub-tanks, because I know his fight is hard. Getting to him can be a little tricky, just because there's some spikes in his area. Puts a lot of emphasis on vertical travel. This is our spiky elevator. If you hit the spikes, you die, as far as I know. So from what I understand, the boosted blast doesn't actually do any extra damage. It just does a continuous beam of damage, which is still pretty huge. And of course it has the reverse damage. Now this is something that you should normally be able to, you can wall kick off of it if you do it just right. I don't know how to do that, so I just do this instead. I don't miss, usually. I'm gonna be a little boring here for a second. I stockpile energy back for Boomer Clanger. He's a tough boss because a lot of his movement patterns are more or less randomized. As far as randomized patterns, what we look like we're in Fire Emblem. Alright, so anyway, I've got a full sub-tank plus a tiny bit. I should be alright. Like I said earlier, he is weak to Boomer Kawanger's, Boomer Kawanger is weak to Launch Octopus's torpedoes. I'm gonna try and fire off a blast right off the bat. Actually, you know what? Alright, and there's Boomer Kawanger down. He's just a real pain in the butt without the homing torpedo because it's just he teleports a lot and he's intangible a lot, so a lot of times you'll try to hit him, you won't be able to hit him. So I'd say that's probably been the hardest part of what I would assume the challenge. I've always had a hard time with him. We got a couple other dudes you can take out. We got Sting Chameleon, Spark Mandrill, and Armored Armadillo. I know there's another sub-tank in Spark Mandrill stage. And I think there's another sub-tank in Armored Armadillo stage. Armored Armadillo is weak to Spark Mandrill's power-up. But Sting Chameleon stage has something a little neat here. He's weak to Boomer Kawanger's power. And his stage offers the armor power-up. This is also one of the only other stages in the game that gives you mechs to pilot. There's the other power up. I think you can dash out without too much of an issue, although I just honestly am not good enough to say how to reliably do it. Up here, you can kill a green robot to get the excuse me, I'll get walloped here. That dude's pretty much a pain to take out anyway. Right here is Dr. Light's last power-up for your suit. The armor power-up. This gives you a 50% breakdown of damage. And makes it look super cool. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna go for Sting Chameleon here. He isn't too tough of a dude to fight, and honestly, you could beat him pretty easily with just your Buster under most circumstances. So there's Sting Chameleon and all of his power-ups. So we got 2 stages left to do, Armored Armadillo and Spark Mandrill. Like I said, I am going to go after Spark Mandrill stage first, just because even though Armored Armadillo isn't too much of a challenge, the Spark Mandrill stage just comes first. And has a few harder to get power-ups, I guess, that... I don't know, I just don't like Armored Armadillo stage too much. It lags up the game, and I always freak out that I'm going to fall down pits, because pits all over the place. Oh, yes, being Storm Eagle stage actually changes the layout of this world, too. I don't remember how to get this one. Yeah, from underneath. Alright, well, there we go. There's my single life challenge. I guess I got everything except for 3 heart tanks and 3 heart tanks and 2 sub tanks. Alright, well, here's my challenge. Ellison is out.